If this scene looks familiar, it should. The firefighter's best friend, a plumber, struck for a second time at the La Quinta Inn at 2400 West Thomas Road the afternoon of January 25th. The fire was a carbon copy of a fire that occurred in 1994. It, too, was started by a plumber sweating pipes in a pipe chase on the first floor of the two-story motel. The plumber and hotel staff fought the smoldering fire for at least 30 minutes using spray bottles. Only after an employee went to the second floor and saw smoke coming from bathroom counters was the fire department called. By the time our units arrived on scene, the fire had a good foothold on the first and second floors and was extending into the attic space of the flat roof. An all clear was obtained, and units worked on 2 floors as well as 2 sides of the motel to open up the walls and get ahead of the flames to cut them off. The pipe chase allowed the fire to spread in several directions with little obstruction. Once the extent of the fire spread had been determined, the remainder of the walls were opened up and the fire extinguished.
Now they're looking clear.
Loss control was a big part of the operation as crews worked to reduce any further damage to the contents of the motel's rooms. Fire Investigations says the cause was indeed the plumber, and the loss was set at $140,000.
Car 510, what's your location? In the lobby, right?
After the fire was out, our department used a new high-tech piece of equipment called the Fire R.A.T. to monitor the site for any signs of a rekindle.
The Fire R.A.T. was designed to help detect rekindles. Many times a fire is put out properly, but even when the right conditions occur again, a fire can erupt again. And in the past, you used to have to leave manpower, sometimes a truck and a man, 6, 8, 10 hours after a fire, in case there was a problem, to put out the fire. We now have an electronic watchman called the Fire R.A.T. that you can place it in harm's way right where the fire was, and it will detect smoke or heat and transmit that signal immediately to the Fire R.A.T. itself, which will now retransmit the signal to the central station, notifying the fire department within a matter of seconds of a rekindle.
In some cases, the state-of-the-art Fire R.A.T. can be more efficient than a manned fire watch. And best of all, the system is very simple to set up and operate.
This is all done with no wires, and it should save a lot of manpower, and it can be in 16 places at once. So even better than sometimes a fire watch where it can only be one place. This can actually be in 16 places.
The device can be set up with any combination of heat and smoke detectors, and when activated, transmits an alarm to a remote receiver, alerting the fire department. The fire at the La Quinta offered a perfect situation where the Fire R.A.T. could be deployed to prevent any additional damage from a rekindle.
The hotel fire was a perfect example for use of Fire R.A.T. There was a fire that happened between the walls of several units, and when the fire gets between the walls, it gets up to the roof and screams to the roof to the other units. The firemen got in here promptly and extinguished the fire, and it appears to be totally out. But should something rekindle, and there's some spots they just can't see. They're hidden down below the paper and the fibers there. The smoke detectors placed in certain locations will detect this smoke even before we have a flame, transmit a signal to the station, and they can get back there before there's any major damage again.
For additional information on the Fire R.A.T. system, contact the on-duty fire marshal, Car 56.